Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I want to talk about how a narcissist will leave you for dead. Okay? And so many people are like, well, what are you talking about? A narcissist will leave you for dead. Here's the thing when we talk about narcissists. Narcissists are self-absorbed. Their main concern is themselves and what they want, okay? Whether it's a supply out of you or they want their ego fed or something like that. So when you get involved with a very unempathetic narcissist, they will have no empathy if you get sick, okay? And people that have been with these type of narcissists understand this because I've seen it. I've had other people see it. When you get involved with somebody that's cold, a narcissist could be very, very cold. Now, one of the things you have to understand when you're dealing with narcissists is that it's on a spectrum, okay? You know, some narcissists could show you a little bit of empathy and some narcissists have no empathy whatsoever. They could take a very, cold attitude towards you getting sick. You could become an inconvenience to them. If you get involved with one of these narcissists, you become an inconvenience to the narcissist when you get sick. Why? Because it's no longer playtime. Now it means work. Narcissists don't like to put in the work. They don't want to have to run to a pharmacy at 3 o'clock in the morning and get you medicine. They don't want to be burdened. That's why a lot of them ghost or something like that. And God forbid, you guys, you get involved with a narcissist and you have children with that narcissist and your child needs special care or you have a special needs child where you have to go to doctors, psychiatrist, therapy sessions or something like that. Narcissists don't want to be involved in that. They're going to leave the majority of the responsibility to you, okay? Narcissists want to be the fun parent and they want to do what's fun. Go out to restaurants, go on vacations, go to Toys R Us, things like that, But when it comes to, sacrificing, narcissists don't want to sacrifice. Or if you become sick or something like that, and you're looking for some kind of sympathy or empathy from a narcissist, a lot of times a narcissist is going to be, they're not going to want to hear it, or they're going to turn that problem that you go to them for, looking for some kind of sympathy, and they're going to make like you're laying your problems on them. You're weighing them down. A lot of narcissists will do this. They'll switch it up and they'll make what your problem is. Now they're going to resent you for bringing it to them because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that you're sick. They don't want to hear about your doctor's appointments. They don't want to hear anything that's negative or something like that. And that's why a lot of narcissists too are going to throw in your face and say, oh, you're so negative or this or that. Why? Because they don't want to deal with it, all right? And a lot of narcissists, they will abandon you when you're sick. Many narcissists will leave you when you're sick. This is why I say to people all the time, all right? When you get involved with somebody, the number one thing I think that you should look for in somebody is whether they have empathy, okay? Will this person be there for you if you're down and out? Will this person be by your bedside if you were sick and you needed to lean on them? Because you know what? It may not be important to you when you're young, because you're young, you're healthy, you're able to move and go places and everything like that. But later on, things happen in life, gang. Okay? I see it with my own friends and people that I know. They end up having ailments. They have different kinds of sicknesses. They get diabetes, or they have arthritis, or they have other problems, or God forbid they get cancer or something like that. And the worst thing that could happen to you is to be with a narcissist during something like that. I actually saw it in my own family when one of my relatives got sick and their mother was not there for them, okay, when she was on her dying bed, okay, dying of cancer. The mother really couldn't deal with it. She couldn't deal with it, all right? And she was very cold and indifferent. And this is how narcissists are. They can be very cold and indifferent. And this is like one of the worst things that you will ever have to deal with when you're dealing with a narcissist. And the other thing that I brought up too, when I did a reel, you guys, I said, be careful of who you marry, okay? And I had a few trolls get on there and had a problem with that and said, oh, you're victim. No, I'm not victim shaming. I'm trying to make you aware. Be careful of who you marry and have kids with. Because if you have kids with a narcissist, you are going to be the one doing everything. And just ask a lot of these single parents out there that are doing everything, that were married or in a relationship with a narcissist and had children with them. Guess what? When the going gets tough, the narcissist gets going, and it's going to all fall on you. And this is what we talk about when you try to rebuild your life. And people say to me all the time, well, can you heal after a narcissistic relationship? Yes, you can heal. It takes time to heal. You've got to give yourself time to heal. But here's the thing. When you have kids, when kids come into the mix, it's a totally different ball game, okay? When you've dealt with a narcissist and you've had kids with a narcissist, and that narcissist is not helping out with those children. In other words, they're not taking the kids and giving you a break. They abandoned the kids and, they're nowhere to be found. This is what narcissists do a lot of times, They go off and they live their life, and then they come back years later trying to be in the kid's life. And guess what? The kids, a lot of the kids don't want to be bothered with them because they realize, what? This parent was not there for me. So the thing is, you've got to really think about this. And the sad thing is, a lot of people don't realize it till after the fact. After the fact. Now you may be divorced with children, or you were in a long-term relationship with children, and now you are dealing with all the issues of those kids. You're going to the school meetings. You're dealing with the doctors. God forbid you had to deal with a special needs child or a child that needed extra care. Where's the narcissist? The narcissist can't be bothered. The narcissist makes excuses why they can't take the kid or take them to a doctor's appointment or call up and find a good therapist for the kid. So guess what? You're going to be the one doing that because you got involved with a narcissist, you had children with a narcissist, and the narcissist is going to leave you for dead to pick up all that responsibility. Period. End of story. How do I know? Because I'm living it every single day, you guys. Every single day. I have 3 kids. 2 of my kids are special needs kids. It's a real struggle every day, but it's a labor of love because I love my children to death. All right? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to make you aware that if you have children with somebody like that, you are going to have to deal with all the issues that come into play. You're going to have to deal with, when a kid is upset or, driving kids everywhere and activities and, holidays, making their holidays special and dealing with all the things that come into play if they, need to go to a doctor or a specialist or whatever it could be, okay? It's going to be you doing 99.9% of the things. And why is this? Because narcissists don't want to be burdened. And we have a lot of narcissistic people that we talk about as well that could be in your life. It could be your friends, it could be your family or something like that. And you turn to these people because you're having a hard time, okay? Maybe you have a lot on your back, you're working, if you have children, you're taking care of children, and you may turn to other people for their support. It could be your friends, family, co-workers, whoever. And if they're narcissistic, guess what? They really don't want to be bothered either, okay? Why? Because it doesn't benefit them. It doesn't benefit them. They don't want to hear it. A lot of times when you contact these people, they'll make excuses why they can't come around, to give you support. They don't want to hear about anything, any problems or anything like that, because a narcissist is only concerned in things that are going to benefit them, okay? They're not about sacrifice. And this is what has people confused when it comes to the covert narcissist. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't understand, the covert narcissist I was dealing with, they were so nice and giving and everything like that. And then another time I see them, they're very cold and everything. Well, if they're running hot and cold, then you're not dealing with a sincere person, okay? When they were running hot, they were giving you a false persona of trying to portray that they're a nice person, they're in your corner. And let me tell you something, you will find out who's down with you when you're down, okay? And that's when you're really going to see the core of that narcissist. Like a lot of people say, well, you'll know when you see a narcissist when you tell them no, okay? That is true. When you tell a narcissist no, they don't like it, and a lot of times, they'll they won't bother with you because they can't get what they want out of you. But you'll also see a narcissist when you have problems and you turn to that narcissist for any kind of support, emotional support, or any kind of support. You'll see that narcissist is cold and indifferent to you, okay? And then you have narcissists. I've seen it on my posts. I read the comments. People have put on there how the narcissist, when they ended up getting sick, the narcissist left them. When they were in the hospital, the narcissist left them. The narcissist ghosted them. Narcissists don't want to deal with it. They'll just move on to somebody else. If they can replace you, they will replace you. And people that have empathy just can't understand this. How could you leave somebody that may be, terminally ill or sick, and then all of a sudden leave the relationship or disappear and drop somebody so cold, okay? Because a narcissist, period, end of story, does not care. They are not wired like you. They don't have empathy. So this is why I tell you, be very, very careful of who you surround yourself with in your circle, whether it's your friends, whether it's, a partner or somebody like that, whether it's certain family members that are unempathetic. Distance yourself from people that don't have heart for you, okay? You'll know that, like I said, when you're down and out and you're going through something rough. And it's not just about sickness, you guys. It could be about anything. You could be, out of a job for 6 months. You could, have a lot of different problems going on in your life, or you could be dealing with depression or anxiety. And what's the narcissist going to say when you're down or you have depression? They're going to dismiss you. They're going to dismiss you, and they're going to put you down and victim shame you and say, oh, well, you're depressed because you made bad decisions in your life, okay? This is what a narcissist will do. They'll kick you when you're down. Period. This is so true. They will kick you when you're down. They will victim shame you, okay? This is exactly what narcissistic people will do. They will say, well, you did it to yourself or something like that. Or it's your fault, if you're feeling anxious, you're weak or you're negative or you're this or you're that. They will not validate your feelings. And I did a post about this, and this is what I have to tell you guys, all right? Because after years of abuse, you get to a point when you finally see the light and you say to yourself, you know what? I don't need these people validating me because they're not going to validate me. They're not going to lift me up. I validate myself. I know what the truth is. I know what the facts is. And I don't need them to reassure me. And the minute that you see somebody criticize, judge you, or put you down when you're going through something rough, the first thing that should come to your mind is, I'm dealing with somebody toxic and I need to get away from them. This person has no empathy. They have no heart for me, and I need to distance myself from them, okay? Because a toxic person is always going to leave you feeling low. They're the ones who create the anxiety and the depression in you. Why? Because they make you feel low about yourself. A narcissist breaks you down and puts you down to make themselves feel better, and especially covert narcissists. They're so jealous, they're so envious, and they will put you down in an indirect way to make themselves feel better. They are vicious, cold, calculating, and no good, all right? And you will know that you're dealing with them because they will talk the talk, but they won't walk the walk. They'll be there for you when they feel like being there for you, sometimes, not always, okay? They won't be consistent with it. Or if they do if they are there for you, it's for appearances. It's to appear empathetic when they're really not empathetic, but they're doing it to look like the good guy. They're the good guy, okay? So there's always a motive for why they're empathetic for you. It's not generally to do it out of the kindness of their heart. It's always to get credit for something, or they're after some supply, okay? Or it's to manipulate somebody else to look good, okay? But the bottom line is this, you guys, I got to tell you this, it's so true. You know, I've been in and out of hospitals, emergency rooms with my kid a lot in the last year because of what he was dealing with his medications and seeing people that are sick. There's people out there with real problems, okay? Narcissistic problems can't compare to when you go to a hospital and you really see what people live with on a day-to-day basis. So you have to say, you know, thank God for what you do have. Thank God if you're healthy and you're doing well and everything like that. You have to appreciate what you do have. But the point of all this is to realize that you're not going to change these people, okay? They are who they are. They've been molded since their childhood to be like that. They have a cold edge because a lot of them came from toxic, abusive households that had parents that were cold and indifferent to them. So what was good for their parents is good for them. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean everybody that comes from a toxic home or a cold, unempathetic parent turns out like that. No, they don't. Not everybody turns out like that had a narcissistic household or family, but a lot of them do, okay? A lot of them are like that, and they have a cold edge. And, you know, they don't want to deal with any of that. Narcissists like where the party's at, okay? I did a post on this about how narcissists don't like to stay home. Not every narcissist, but a lot of them like to be out. They like to be where the action is. They like a good time. They are thrill seekers. So when you get sick or something like that, this is going to damper the good time of that narcissist. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with sitting home and caring for you or caring for anybody. God forbid you ever had a caretaker that was a narcissist. And that's what you have when you have abuse in, let's say, nursing homes or group homes for disabled people or something like that. The abuse is from narcissistic individuals that abuse weak and disabled and vulnerable people. And this is what you got to watch out for in your life, okay? Even in your own personal life, who you deal with, all right? The worst thing to deal with is somebody that has no heart, that when you're sitting there and you're crying to them because of something happened. I have people on my post that talk about how they were at a brother's funeral or something like that, and their narcissistic partner was scrutinizing them for crying. Like, how dare you? Who are you to sit there and tell somebody how they're supposed to mourn for somebody? And that's exactly how a narcissist will be. They'll be sitting there trying to control you, how you're supposed to mourn for a dead parent or somebody like that, because they look at anybody that shows any kind of, you know, softness or kindness. A narcissist views that as weakness, okay? That's how they really view it. They view it as weakness. That's why I tell you, never show a narcissist when you're really feeling low, because they thrive on that, okay? They look at you as weak, but they thrive on that because they feel like they're superior, that they're so much stronger. They love to know that that you're getting emotional and something's breaking you down. That's how fragile and low their ego is, that they get pleasure out of seeing somebody else's pain. A lot of them are the true evil that goes on in this world. People call them demons all the time because they don't have any kindness or love within themselves. So how are you going to have a relationship with somebody like that, that's cold and indifferent? And when things don't go your way or you're having a rough day, you come home to somebody who's cold and indifferent or gives you the silent treatment or really doesn't care about your pain. Get rid of these people. Get rid of them, all right? Recognize when somebody, the first sign that you see that somebody is cold or unempathetic to any of your troubles or problems or something like that, you've got to step back from it and say, you know what? Can't rely on this one. Let me not get in a relationship with this one. Let me back off from this family member or this friend. They're disappearing on me. They're making excuses when I'm going through something rough. Let me step back from it because now I know they've got no empathy. They don't want to hear it. They only want to hear when things are good or a good time or something like that. They don't want to be a support. A narcissist is not somebody that you could put, that you could go to for support. But the irony of it all is, you guys, they portray that. They are the exact opposite of what they portray. And that's one of the things that attracts people to narcissists, because narcissists try to come off as strong. They're your hero. They're in your corner. They got your back. But the reality, if you have enough experience and you've seen it and you've been with narcissists long enough, you'll see that they are basic cowards. And when the going gets tough, that narcissist is going to get going, and you're going to have to find it within yourself to deal with whatever you have to deal with and not be able to rely on that narcissist, because they just don't care, you guys. And you have to accept it. You're not going to change them. You just have to get away from them if you can. If you can't get away from them, gray rock them, and just understand that this is not somebody that's ever going to have your back or have heart for you. Okay? So I hope that helps you. If it does, please hit the subscribe button and please share the podcast, and have a great day. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website, where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio, where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.